All right, I'm going to start off with our first question here. So, how has the commercial landscape for scientific products changed since you've assumed the role of Chief Commercial Officer?
Okay, great question. So I'm 2 months into the role, Devin. So one of the things that I'm evaluating right now is organization structure, which I've hired a third-party consultant to take a look at our total addressable market that we can call on. So the total potential business that's in our space. So let's say we have $300 million worth of business, but we've identified that there's $12 billion in our space. That's truly business that we could go out and get. Now, it's obviously with competitors and things along the so I'm taking a look at what that total addressable market, which we call TAM, and how our reps currently align with the business that we have and TAM, and then where are our gaps, and how many reps, whether they're field reps out in the field going face-to-face with customers on a daily basis, and direct reps, which is inside sales reps, covering, geographic areas that are very difficult to get to, or there's just not enough business to put somebody there in the field, if that makes sense. So I'm taking a look at all that right now and probably going to reorganize my entire structure to have leaders in respective geographies that, probably have higher concentration of opportunity. And the net of this is I'll probably end up hiring more reps, both field and inside sales, to start going after that additional business where we have gaps today in coverage. So just for an example, there's a lot of biotech business in the Boston area, in San Francisco, in Southern California, some Texas, and other areas like that. And we have, one or two reps in those areas where our competitors have like 8 or 9 or 12. So as you can tell, we're outgunned a little bit from a field perspective. So we'll probably end up adding heads to go after that business. So that's one thing that I've had to do. And the other thing, just I know, not to get too long-winded, the other thing is that I'm looking at the talent. Do we have the right leadership in place today? Do we have the right sales reps out there doing with the right behavior? Are they out in the field? And, a question that should be asked, if you're not going to ask it, is how is COVID post and pre? How's it changed rep behavior and how they approach the customer in the market? And it's changed. It's dramatically changed that approach, and we have to almost have our sales reps relearn how to be sales reps again, because they got so used to being out of the home and calling instead of face-to-face. And the magic in our business in scientific products and distribution, the magic happens with working with suppliers, so products that we sell, and the customer. And so we're having to really drive that behavior, and I am going to have to change the sales compensation to further drive them to work with vendors and be out in the field. So long-winded answer to your question there, Devin, but that's just a couple of the activities that I'm working on. There's quite a few more, but I'm not going to get too deep with you.
That's all right. That was a great response. You even answered like one of my follow-up questions to what the original question was, which is great. I really appreciate that a lot, and it's very insightful. Sure. I never really knew that much about the commercial business of what's the scientific commercial business. That's kind of what you're in, right?
Yes, scientific products. So it's sorry, I just got home. So
all good. Don't worries.
Cool. So we're in the distribution business, which so we sell a lot of scientific products. So we sell into all market segments. So it could be intel, from a semiconductor standpoint, it could be pharma, whether it's Pfizer, Moderna, as you probably heard of back in the day, COVID vaccines, to wastewater treatment. So you name it, just about any company that's in business that needs either, gloves or chemicals or anything like that. We sell over 1 million products. So we sell into, that's the good news, is we sell into every market segment, Devin. So right now, pharma is a little down just because they're coming off the COVID piece. But other market segments are up. Education is back in full swing, so we sell a lot. Like if you're taking a biology class or a chemistry class at your university, they're using chemicals, they're using glassware, things along those lines. We either sell into that or our competitors do. So there's always some type of market segment that's going to be doing well, and that's the beauty of the business we're in. So we're not reliant on one type of market segment. So like if we were heavy into pharma, and they're having a bad year, then obviously we'd have a bad year. So we can compensate if pharma's a little down because we're in all these other segments.
All right, that's awesome. That's great. So for the next question, what is the most valuable lesson you've learned in your new role that you've just acquired at Thomas Scientific?
A new role, 2 months in.
What's the most valuable lesson you've learned so far?
So I would say the most valuable lesson, it's not that I've learned in this role, to be honest, Evan. It's an accumulation of knowledge that you pick up as you mature, I would say, over the life of your professional career. And I think what you have to learn, and how I apply a lot of what I learned to this role today, is that, one, this is a people business, and in our industry, you can talk about technology, Devin, how it's easier to order things online, like Amazon, right? Things along those lines. Yeah. But in the products business, people still buy from people, and you can have the best webs, and that's helpful, 100%. If it's easy to search products on your website, you're certainly going to have success there. But at the end of the day, you have to be in front of the customer, and you have to have the right reps out there engaging and interacting with customers, whether it's at a pharma account or whether it's at a university or whatever. And that's where the magic happens. And so so what I'm doing, I guess, from a learning perspective, and it's not really learning, is that's where I got back to what I said earlier, is about evaluating the talent. Do we have the right individuals that are getting up every morning and getting out and visiting their customers to create opportunities for themselves? And that would be sales, right? Yeah. Which equals money. And so, at the end of the day, I want an entire sales team that wants to go out there and really address the customer's needs, which should have success for them and the customer, and they make money. Because I want a bunch of people that are making money. Because if they're making money, we're hitting our goals, and then everything's going well for the business.
All right, that was very good. Yeah, so I'm glad that it's important that you need to hit your goals and hit all these things, and then that everyone kind of plays a major part in that role, and that's very interesting to kind of hear about. It's very relatable to like all companies, as I've talked to many other people about their jobs in management positions such as yours.
As a commercial officer.
Yeah. Someone even higher.
Yeah, you're ultimately judged by, your report card, which is, hey, did we hit our financial objectives? Certainly, but in the process, you got to make sure that you're taking care of your people, because if you take care of your people, they generally take care of you.
All right. So for the next question, you've kind of already answered it already, but I'm going to change it up a little bit say I'm going to be applying for your company, and I just started I was just hired and I'm just starting. What would you recommend for someone as myself to be successful in the first 30 days?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have an onboarding process. So, I mean, all companies are different, but once you started getting into larger companies, there's generally an onboarding process where, you learn, okay, what are my benefits and all that. That's all important. Got to know that good stuff. But then you start to know, okay, this is the systems that I have to use. I have to use Salesforce to input data about customers and activity. So you have to understand that. You have to understand what your customer base is. And then I would recommend you take a look at your top 20 customers and you immediately give them calls and set up appointments with them. Look, you can learn about the products on the fly, and you should. But, and once again, it depends on the industry you're in. And, in distribution, you can learn the products on the fly. If you work for a manufacturer, you may want to know your product before you go out and visit customers, but that should not stop you from interacting with your customers. You can say, hey, I'm Devin. Yeah. I'm your new sales rep, and, I've been with the company 3 days. I'm learning the products, but I did want to reach out to you. And just so you know, you have a point of contact again, and I'm that person. Come to me for everything, et cetera. And, as I ramp up to speed in the first 30 days, I definitely want to get out and introduce myself to you in person. So there's a combination of learning the business, learning what you're selling, interacting with your customers, and then at the same time, you got to know your internal team as well. Who are the key people within the organization you work for that you need to, meet and understand what they do on a daily basis, and then how you would interact with those people.
All right. Well, that was great. Thank you so much. That was good. All right. For the next question, so at your position, what resources or channels do you rely on to stay informed about industry developments and marketing dynamics?
Yeah. So there's several that you're going to rely on. Number one, your team. So I have a Friday call with all my direct reports and their direct reports. And what I want to find out from them during that call, number one, is how the business is going. But I want to understand what they're seeing in the marketplace. So they have to come to the table with one piece of market intelligence that they will share with the entire organization. So that's the best way. So they know every Friday that they need a piece of information. And so it helps. They interact with their reps that are in the field and asking them, hey, what are you seeing out there from a competition standpoint or just in the market in general? So, you need to know market intel. And what was the other question? Sorry, Devin.
And market dynamics and industry developments. So, like, what resources or channels do you rely on?
Okay. And so the other piece so I have the human element where I get feedback directly from the field on what they're seeing. Then also there's a lot of push information that I get pushed to me via email on a daily basis. There's reports like Fierce Pharma, Fierce Biotech, Genome Web. So there's a lot of subscriptions that you can get out there where they tell you what's hot, what's going on in the marketplace. Like Fierce Pharma will tell me, I'll read something about, Pfizer acquired this company for, $300 million and, because they like technology, something along those lines. So there's a lot of information that you can get pushed to you, electronically as well. So I like the human, and I like also what's coming through from various organizations out there that their job is to just update the market on activity.
All right. I have only one more question for you today. And so the question is, can you share a specific project that you felt added significant value to the company's growth or market presence that you've currently been a part of?
Yeah. So I'm as I mentioned at the very beginning, I'm working with a third-party company right now to really take a look at total addressable market, and that's a big deal. So, that's really going to shape how we approach the market over the next several years is the findings from this consulting company and my interaction and some of the feedback. And I'm guiding them a little bit, Devin, to be honest, but they are really taking all the data that we have on our business and looking at the market and once again, taking a look at where we're doing well and where our gaps are. And from that, we'll be able to build the organization really for growth. And so that is a big project, and it's, basically we paid, thousands of dollars to get that support with the intent that it's going to, we're going to enjoy millions of dollars in return.
That's great. I actually lied. I do have one more. It could be a quick one. So have there been any scientific products or services that have gained popularity in the market recently?
There are. I think the more, a lot of the companies that we're calling on are really trying to minimize the amount of non-research activity that happens. So what do I mean by that? Basically, scientists want to do science, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll just use that as an example. So ordering products, managing, products on the shelf, they don't want to do. So they're really looking to companies like ourselves to say, hey, we'll take that off your plate. We'll actually manage stock rooms, or we'll manage your inventory. So whenever you need a box of gloves or whatever, it's going to be there on the shelf, and we'll come in, we'll take inventory, we'll order it, it'll come in, and we'll put it up on the shelves on your behalf, so you don't have to deal with that. So there's a lot of that type of services that companies are looking for us to do, whether it's that type of inventory management, or, hey, you know what, if my piece of equipment breaks down, I'd rather just have you call and you set up with a company to come in and fix it. I don't want to deal with it. So we're seeing a lot of that, of outsourced services, if that makes sense. So it's definitely, it's been growing for a long time, but it's really almost becoming a requirement to do business with a lot of our customers that are mid-size to larger. They're really looking to outsource anything that's non-research related.
Got it. That's great. All right, so I'm done with all my questions today. It was really nice talking to you, and I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your very busy day. I know you're super busy all the time, for allowing me to interview you today.
It's all good, Devin.
Yeah.
It's good. How's your family doing?
They're good. Everyone's good. I'm going home in like 5 days here, so I'm very excited to see everyone. I haven't been home yet, so it's been I'm getting kind of antsy and nervous, but I think I'll be okay. I really miss my dog.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, I tell you what, yeah, it's not a drive, obviously from Utah to Naperville, and it's easier for Gracie to come home, and she has quite a bit. A little harder for herself, being in Tennessee. I think she got home